living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, the health futures lose by.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Ferguson, and this is Diet-Free Life with yours truly. I'm excited and delighted to share with you information today that I believe will help you. Now, we're not here to claim that we can fix the world, but what we are here to do is give you ideas on how you can optimize both your lifespan and your health span. And today is going to be good. And I say that because we're going to share with you information that may be new to you, but knowing it is going to put you in a much healthier, better place. See, we live in a world today where we have an abundance of information out there about nutrition, health, what's healthy, what's not, who's right, who's not. And it's really difficult to figure out what would be best. So the abundance of information out there makes it confusing when it comes to like living your best and healthiest life. Think about it. You go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, and everyone's speaking something totally different when it comes to what is the best thing to do to lose weight. What is the best supplement to take? What is the best thing to do if I want to like improve my health? What can I do to reduce my risk of cancer? What can I do? And everybody's saying something different. Then you go to your doctor after watching the news in the morning and they say that keto is not good. You go see your doctor and he goes, I think you should do keto. And everybody's saying something different. Now, as a nutritionist and a guy who's been in this space of helping people not just lose weight, but improve overall health for 30 years, I get it. Trust me. And when I say trust me, what I'm talking about is that I have experiences where it is confusing. Yes. Okay. It is very confusing. But today, we're going to share with you, when I say we, I have a nutritionist, fitness coach, one of my dear friends for many years, who is going to join me. Her name is Amy Prine from the beautiful state of Wisconsin. And we're going to share with you a test. So that is not my opinion or your opinion. And the test I'm talking about is a test that you can take that puts you in the driver's seat. And the test will tell you if what you're doing or what you're not doing is working. I love this part. I really love it. Now, if you want to contact myself or Miss Amy Prine, in the description, her website is mentioned. There's a link to contact me. And we have a food as medicine course coming up. And this is a good example of why knowledge is power. Instead of just walking around and not knowing, put yourself in a place of knowing. And for those of you who are Bible thumpers or believe in God or the Bible, even the Quran, it's very clear that people perish. People aren't successful. People fall short for the lack of knowledge. So when you have a course where you can actually go and learn, then you can cut through the clutter. You can clearly see what is real and what is not. And if you don't want to like do all of that so you have the knowledge, at least become aware of a test. Okay. So I'm going to bring Amy on. Get ready, Amy. You're coming out of the green room. So here we go. Amy Prine. How are you today, Amy?
I'm good, Robert. How are you?
We are good. And how's the weather in beautiful Darlington, Wisconsin?
It is beautiful here. It's a little gloomy today, but we've had plenty of rain, so everything's nice and green and beautiful. And yeah, it's very nice.
Now, where
How
you
about there in
live,
California?
well, where you live, are there like farmers markets that you guys have it like do like because you know you can drive down the road, get out of your car and go grab corn out of the stock right there on the side of the road. But do you have farmers
Yes.
markets? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
And so is that
Which is very
primarily like
nice.
is that the local farmers, the local people who show up and they make available
Correct.
corn and eggs and all those things?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So are
Yep.
you excited about your farmers market? Do you use the farmers market?
Yes. Yes. So it's
Okay.
very nice.
When you
Very
say
nice.
that,
So,
I'm just saying, Amy, I feel like you're hesitating when I ask you. I mean, you
No.
guys got a beautiful area.
mhm.
Like, where do you get your eggs at? Do you get them from the Piggly Wiggly or do you get them from a friend?
No, there's a friend. Actually, there's a lot of people here that raise their own chickens and sell their eggs. So we're very fortunate here.
Okay. So
In a
here's
rural area, we're very fortunate.
okay. So I have a recommendation for you. And my recommendation is, and you can get back to me and let me know about this. The next time you talk to someone who has their own hens and they sell their eggs or they give them away, ask them if they pay close attention to the type of feed that they use, because all the hens get some type of feed. And I'm just curious to hear, like, because I know you're gonna start talking to them, like, and my question would be, in the feed that they feed the hens, is it corn? Is it soybean? You know, not like you have the answer, but you know, do some research for me. I'm very curious to find out if they are at least aware of what they're feeding their hens, because you know where I'm going. I'm thinking about omega-6. I'm thinking about inflammation, because if we feed the hens the omega-6 in the feed, corn oil, soybean oil, then we're eating the eggs, even though they're close to nature, we're getting a good amount of omega-6 because that's what they eat.
Correct.
Okay.
Great.
So you let us know.
Yeah, I will do the research and I will get back to you.
Okay. Now, I told everybody today that we're going to talk about the tests. And I actually, one of our dear friends, Cindy V, who you know.
I do know. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm asking, like,
I thought you were
so
making
you
a
know,
statement, not a question.
no, I mean, I'm just I want everybody to know that I'm saying Cindy V. I know you know she's both of our friend,
Yes.
right? And okay, so Cindy most recently got a test done, and she shared her test, and we're gonna go over the test. We're gonna tell everybody what it is, and how it ties into our health. Okay, so
Okay.
so to get things, so she's okay with us sharing this. I just want you to know that. So
Sure.
I'm gonna put you here, and let's bring up this. So we're talking about a test, you guys, that will give you information about two key health markers Amy and I are going to talk about today. One is called omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, and the other one is called omega-3 index. Now, there's other things you get from the test, but we're going to talk about the test from that standpoint, because omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is very important to know it. And I know that most of our doctors don't test for it, which is fine. But if you go to the National Institute of Health, the World Health Organization, all of the leading organizations, even like MD Anderson, when people have cancer, they all acknowledge the importance of knowing your omega-6 to your omega-3 ratio. And when that's in balance, a lot of really positive things take place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm going to do, Amy, and I didn't have this prepared, but I'm going to find it real quick. I'm going to play a video from Dr. Simopoulos. She is the world's leading endocrinologist. She talks about her life's work is about these omega-6 and omega-3 ratios. So I feel like let's set it up and we're going to like let her kind of explain it so you and I don't have to do it, Amy.
Okay.
And then we're going to like look at a person's test. And then you can share anything else you want to share and how we can improve the test through a product that we are fully aware of called Balance Oil. So without further delay, let's let Dr. Simopoulos explain this.
Sounds good.
Okay. So the video will
Very
play.
important is the composition of the fat, the essential fatty acids, omega-6 and omega-3. And it's really frightening to think that after all the research funded with taxpayers' money, today, the latest dietary guidelines for Americans do not mention the importance of the ratio of omega-6, omega-3, or the concept of a balance. It's not a matter that you have low amounts of omega-3s. It's the fact that a high amount of omega-6 and a low amount of omega-3, as it is in Western diets today, they influence the function of every cell membrane in the body. And the cell membranes consist of both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. And it is important that they are balanced.
Well, what are your thoughts on that, Amy?
That's huge. I mean, that says so much. It's things that I wasn't even aware of, and until the first time that when you introduced it to me. And like I said, that just speaks so much that I feel the average person is not familiar with the omega-3s and the 6s and how they impact our body, what they do.
Mm-hmm. It is amazing. And it's so amazing because when you look at the role of omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, certain things will come up, like chronic illnesses to include Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, inflammation throughout the body, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, and the list goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. However, people are just not aware of it the way we're going to talk about it today. But once they become aware, Amy, and I know you've gotten a good amount of people to become aware of it, what are some of the things that you've heard back from people after, one, you got them using the balance oil, and then two, which we're going to talk about and share with people, what was their excitement when they saw their test for the first time, and then some of the people that you've worked with, what happened when they saw their test improve when they tested the second time?
Well, first of all, Robert, I want to speak from my own personal experience. I am just blown away on what it has done for me personally. And we're going to talk about the test, like you said, getting the results back. I'm going to lay it out there. I was discouraged when I first did my first test. I was like, wow. For a person that is in the health field, I feel like I eat 90% healthy, 95. Everybody's health definition of healthy is different. Exercising, taking care of myself, and then to get those results back, I was like, wow. So then taking the balance oil for 4 consecutive months, retesting and seeing the results majorly improve. That was just huge to me and mind-blowing on what a difference that one product can do. So that's for me. Anxiety for me has definitely helped, blood pressure. And then with the clients that I worked with, they too are amazed when they get their second test back. So the product works, and then you get the detailed report that we as coaches go over individually. And I have to say my clients are totally blown away by it. So that's the feedback that I'm getting. Very, very positive.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I feel the exact same, Amy. I'm with you, and that's why we're talking about it. You know, I
Right.
was talking to someone the other day, and they're in direct sales, and we were having a conversation. And in the conversation, I said, you know, and again, this is vague, but I said, you and I are a little different for why I'm sharing about the test and the balance oil. And the person said, excuse me, like, what do you mean? I said, well, if I put, or someone put $50 million, just liquid after taxes into my account, and that's my money, I said I would still be meeting with Amy tomorrow and doing a live and talking about this because it's that important.
Hmm.
And in one clear-cut study, if a person's omega-3 index, which is part of what you get on the test, if it's between 8 to 12%, which is optimal, your health and your longevity is extended 5 additional years compared to someone who doesn't have that same omega-3 index.
Isn't that unreal? I mean, that just blows my mind. 5 years for just
Now,
taking that simple product.
and you're a mom and a grandma. So imagine, let's say you're 80 and someone says, hey, Amy, you can die today, or you can live another 5 years and your health is not going to diminish. Your quality of health is going to stay the same. You're not going to get dementia. Everything is going to stay the exact same of where you are. And all you have to do is make sure your omega-3 index stays where it is. Would you want to live 5 more years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't? That's why.
Exactly.
That's why.
Exactly.
So, okay. So I don't want to be mean today. I really don't, Lord. And why I said that, Amy, is because I know people that I'm attempting to get them to be still long enough so I can share with them the importance of what we're talking about, so they can actually do something about their situation moving forward for the rest of their life.
Mhm.
And it's hard to get people to listen. And I think,
Yes.
yeah. And I think it goes back to what I said in the very beginning, where there's so much information that it's like we can't even hear anymore. And we don't want to hear because it's like, I've heard it all, but
Mhm.
yet they haven't heard it all.
Mhm.
Okay. So you ready to get into this test? Want us to show people?
I am. I am.
Okay. And you know, and we're going to talk about it. And if you don't mind, Amy, sometimes it helps if you play the role of asking questions based on what you know people are probably thinking or questions they may have.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So let's not completely be two nutritionists who understand it.
Okay.
I need you to help me help them. And then, of course, you can always still be Amy and you can bring in your scientific knowledge and your understanding. But it would help if you can ask me questions based on what you think other people are thinking.
I think that's great.
Okay. I appreciate you, Amy. Amy Prine, everybody. Okay.
I
Let's
appreciate you.
now, for those of you who have had this test, you could let us know. Click if you're catching the replay, like, make a comment. Let us know what your original test was. What did you think when you first got your test? Like, let us know, like, when you saw your test get better. Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody has that opportunity. All right. So here we go. We got the test up in front of us, everybody. Now, the product that helps make everything better once you see your test, which I'm going to show you, is this product right here. It's called Balance Oil. Balance Oil is a product that's made available through people like myself or Amy. So it's direct sales, but yet it has everything that like, I really believe, Amy, they could have like taken the FDA approach to this and just said, you know what, we're going to make this available through doctors. There's not one doctor that I've shared this with that doesn't love it. And in that bottle, I just want you guys to know that 60% of what's in that bottle is omega-3 fatty acids, which helps reduce inflammation. And 40% of what's in that bottle are what they call polyphenols. And polyphenols help reduce inflammation. Polyphenols, when you eat a red bell pepper or a red orange or orange or a red apple, like what gives it these colors is polyphenols. So fruits and vegetables. Okay, so 40% of what's in that bottle is polyphenols that has all of these benefits. And the polyphenols they get from unripe olives. So it's all blended together. Okay, so now you know what is going to help you get results. So let's look at the test. Okay, Amy, this is Cindy's first test. Okay, everything is in the red. So let's all know that red means it's not good. Okay, so let me make it. I want to make it big. I want everybody to see that. Okay. Any thoughts on this, Amy?
I'm excited to see her second test.
Okay. Well, we're going to look at her second test. All right, you guys. So that very first number that you see right there in the middle, where it says 40:1, that's 40:1. The 40, because they're looking at the red blood cells. So this is not a plasma test where we just look at what's in your blood right now. They're literally, this test tells you what's on the cellular level. And the first number is for omega-6. Omega-6 is essential, meaning we need it. But the problem that we have in America and around the world is that we're getting too much of it. So a high number of 40, and then the second number 1 is for omega-3. That ratio, you want that 40 to be 3 or lower. So obviously, as you can see, 40:1 is not a good thing. I don't know if you want to talk about your original numbers, Amy, but if you see 40:1, I don't know. What's the
Yeah, I will
response?
share. I would be more than happy to share my results. Cindy has me beat. Congratulations, Cindy. That was a little sarcasm there. I was 35:1, and I'm assuming Cindy was probably like me. I was very disappointed and almost devastated. I think I called you right away, Robert, when I got my results back, and we can talk about mine too further into this. But yeah, when you feel like you're eating healthy and doing things right, and then you get this very important test, and I want to stress important. And when you first introduced this to me, I really knew hardly nothing about the omega-6 to 3, omega-3s. So I was excited to take the test, but then I was devastated, like, wow. And then seeing the results come through. So it's very shocking. I'm going to say for all of the people that I've worked with, I have to say they're all pretty shocked when they get the results back. And would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the
it's a humbling experience. It really is.
Yes. And then it's amazing, because I've even had people reach out to me and say, when do I get my second test? Because they're so excited to see the improvements. So that's just really exciting. So I've tested 4 times. So each time has gotten better and better. So it's phenomenal. It's a game changer.
It really is. And for those of you who are listening to us or part of this, the testing is done by the world's leading laboratory for what they call dry blood spot testing. So like if you live in America or Canada or wherever you live, what happens is you do this test at home. Is really simple, very simple. And then you put it in the mail. The postage is already paid for. It goes all the way to Oslo, Norway. And this leading laboratory, through total anonymity, so HIPAA compliancy, no one knows your name, knows who you are. They do your test, and then you get an email with a special code so you can access your test. That part is brilliant. And so they're looking at the red blood cell because that's a big part of overall health. And this is the future, everyone, when it comes to what testing will be like in the next 10 years, 30 years from now, if we're still around, this will be common practice.
Mm-hmm.
So as what Amy is saying, everybody can get this test and it's not expensive. Okay. So as you can see, so let's make it a little bigger because we're going to look at the follow-up. This is our dear friend Cindy. So each one of these boxes, as you can see, there's 6 boxes. They're all in red. We can explain all of them, but we're only going to talk about 3 of them today. Is that okay, Amy?
Yes.
All right. So the first one we talked about, this is where she ended up. Okay. So she started at 40-1. The only thing different is that she took this product. That's all you got to do is take it every day. And 4 months later, which Amy mentioned, that's the life of a red cell membrane. So it's like getting a hemoglobin A1C test if you're a diabetic or you have concerns for that. So she started here. So she used this product, but this was her original test. And now where she is today is 2.8-1, which is in balance.
And as a reminder for people, we want to be 3-1. So you can see she has definitely surpassed it. So congratulations, Cindy.
Yes. So she is in balance, everybody. What does that mean? My mom is in balance and she has rheumatoid arthritis. Her discomfort when she was not in balance was like not good, like 8, 9. That was the pain, discomfort. Now my mom is 2.7-1, right? She's right there with Cindy. She's at a 0.1 on discomfort. So yes, she gets the physical benefits of being in balance. And that's what we as social, because nothing else changed in my mom's life. We have a test to prove that she's in balance. And now she doesn't have the same discomfort. So this is where Cindy is. Now, if we go and look closer at it, right? You got 40-1, which is not where we want to be. So give them some advice, Amy, when they get their first results. If they're 40-1, tell them don't panic. It's going to be okay.
And that's what I do because I use the product. I've been there. Like I said, my first one was 35-1. So I've definitely been there, and I did panic. I panicked, but then I used it faithfully, and that's another thing that you definitely want to. I tell people it's like brushing your teeth, something that you do daily. So yeah, you're going to be okay. You use the product, you're gonna see and feel results,
Okay.
and to me that's huge.
That's huge. So she goes from this to that.
That's just amazing.
Okay. So I think we
And
have
was
a
that
pretty good...
in 4 months then, Robert?
No, this was longer than 4 months. This is where she is today. Right. So
okay.
every month that a person uses it, it gets better. So you can test
gets
every
better and
4
better.
months. You can test every month. You can test every 8 months. That's totally up to you. But
Sure.
imagine having a product that you're taking that every month, every 3 months, every year, you can see that because you take it, your blood work tells you that you're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
That's a win. Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge win.
Huge. All right. So we're going to leave any questions that you think people would want to know when it comes to their balance of omega, 6-3 ratio. Any questions on that? You think we're good?
No, I'm reviewing in my mind what I've heard from clients, and I think we've already touched on it. Where do I want to be? Where should I be? And we've already discussed that, the 3-1. Some other questions is, what do I do to get there? Take the balance oil. So I think we've covered that category very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to this one that's called the protection value. Okay. So if you guys can see that the protection value is insufficient and she's at 0%. Now, in your experience testing people, Amy, are most people at 0%, or have you seen people, or are most people higher than that?
Most people, I actually, I'm going to change that. Everybody has been 0 that I've seen.
Okay. and I would say 99.6%
9
of people that I've tested are 0%.
or 0.
So let me share with you guys what we mean by protection. I think of protection as reduced risk of stroke, reduced risk of heart attack, reduced risk of blood clots, reduced risk of chronic inflammation. So I want protection. So what the company did that does the test, where this formulation comes from, is they took 3 health markers. They took the omega-6-to-3 ratio, which we talked about. As you can see, it's 40-to-1. So they looked at that. They then looked at omega-6 by itself, which is that's pro-inflammatory. And then they looked at omega-3. So in your test, they take those 3 numbers and they give each one of them a value. And then they divide by 3 and it gives a certain percentage. If the protection value or percentage is 90 to 100%, you are maximized with your protection, which means reduced risk of all those things I mentioned. If you're 0%, you don't have any protection value. Okay.
Which is very scary.
Which is scary. Now, the good news is when you fill the gap of omega-3 by getting more of it, because you get that through the balanced oil, then you're going to see that percentage go up. So this is where she started, 0%. Here's where Cindy is today, 91%.
Impressive.
She has maximized, she's optimized her protection value.
Just by taking the balance oil.
That's it. And like you, Cindy's been a client that I've worked with. I know how she eats. She eats great. She's very mindful of her nutrition. So there was no change in how she ate. The only difference was that she took a food-based supplement, balanced oil, and now she's at 91%.
Amazing.
Okay, so we've covered 2 boxes, right? We got the first one, the omega-6-to-3 ratio. We now saw the value of testing and using the product. So now she's at 91%. So for those of you who have been tested, and if you're not at 91%, just keep doing what you're doing. The next time you test, you'll be better.
You'll see improvement.
Okay. Any questions on any of this, Amy, before we introduce these people to the third box?
No, I just think it's good to add that protection is, to me, I feel like it's really focusing on the health of your heart. And I want that to be healthy, and I'm sure everybody else does. So very, very important factor there.
Nice. Well, the number 1 killer around the world, and of course in the United States of America, is heart disease, right? Stroke, heart attack. So if you're reducing inflammation and you're adding protection, so that you're less likely for that experience to happen, that right there is a win-win. Yeah,
definitely a win.
Okay. All right, you guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the third box. So the bottom left, and this is where it starts to get really fun to me, Amy. Look at where she's at. Her omega-3 index was 3.3%. Here's where it is today. 8.6%.
That is amazing.
8.6%. I'm going to say it one more time.
Wow.
8.6%. Now, what does that mean to the average person? Okay. To the average person, check this out. This is when you look at lifespan and you look at health span. You look at people who live the longest and who are less likely to experience disease. That arrow at the bottom is looking at the United States of America. On average, our omega-3 index is 3 to 4%, meaning you live 5 years less than someone who is 8 to 12%.
That just leaves me like speechless. It's very, very sad when you look at the United States versus the other countries, and why are we so bad?
Well, there's a whole bunch of, you know what's interesting also, Amy? I'm going to point this out because you are a nutritionist, but look in the middle where it says Iceland. Iceland has a life expectancy of 83 years. And Iceland has a health span of 81 years. Now, that means that, so health span means how long you live without any disease. So no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no Graves' disease, no lupus, no gout. So the length of time they live and the length of time they don't have any problems, they live into their 80s with no health concern. Like none.
And then look at the United States.
Yeah, I mean, the average 66-year-old has had all kind of problems. But if you look at Iceland and you go all the way to the right, look at their omega-3 index. On average, 7 to 9%.
7 to 9%.
7 to 9%. So people around the world who are more likely to have chronic illness and have chronic pain and not live as long have a lower omega-3 index. I don't even know what to say to people anymore.
You know, that's what I said earlier. It just leaves you speechless when you see things like this.
And when you look at that. Almost everyone I test, Amy, and I don't know if you've looked at this, but I would say go back if you haven't and looked at every person's omega-3 index. Every one of them that you've ever looked at. Look at it and look at this. Cindy was 3.3%. Most people I tested, so over 90% of everybody I test are less than 4%. Which means they may be doing okay right now, but based on statistical data, they will not be doing okay around 60-something years old. They will not live to their full potential. And not many people are talking about this. So I want you to think of someone that you love. Okay. I want you to think of somebody that you love, Amy. Okay. It could be anybody. And I want you to think of someone who you know doesn't understand the importance of this. You would love them to understand it. But I want you to realize, God forbid, that they are not going to live to their optimal age.
Saddens me.
And one thing that they could do to live to their optimum age is to not be a person who has a low omega-3 index.
Mhm. Mhm. And I guess I want to add something. I have my test results, my first test results, and
Uh-oh, here we go, everybody.
I know, here we go. Be ready. Here we go. Thinking that I was dumbfounded when I got my results back. I definitely speechless. So I guess if I can just say, if people would listen to what we're saying, and if you care about yourself and your loved ones, you really need to make some changes. I felt, Robert, that I was fairly healthy, and with my results, I found out differently, and I definitely want to change because I want to live a long, healthy life, and I want to be with my family, my loved ones. So I'm just very grateful that we came across this product, and just doing this one simple change on a daily basis can make such a significant difference in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that we're living a healthy life. We think that we're eating healthy and we're exercising and doing everything right, but we can't really control everything that's in our food. And if we can take this one simple product and make changes, why not?
Yeah. Well, like one of the sad parts about when you share product with people is that they get caught up on thinking you're trying to sell them.
Exactly.
And this is not trying to sell you.
Mm-mm.
Because we have a test. So let's say that go buy an omega-3, go buy a fish oil, go get one, but do the test. Now, when they go by and they say, I found, like I had this one lady and she unfriended me actually because she does not want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have those people.
Right.
And she was my client, and I had told her about Balance Oil, and I said, hey, you're going to pay about $45 a month. And she goes, well, I found a product at Walmart for $25. I go, yeah, but I mean, it's one thing to save money on a product, but the goal is that you can actually test and find out if it's working for you. And her ego and her stubbornness blocked her from hearing what I'm saying. And that's why she unfriended me, because she wants to create in her own brain that what she's doing is right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a test. So the mental, so I talk to people all the time, Amy, and I go, mental health is real. And a lot of people got some real mental health issues going on. So she couldn't hear what I was saying. There's a derangement in her own brain. And who knows why it's that way? So in her mind, even though her product will never get her test results to be better, what she will do is not ever test again and just take a product and create in her mind that she believes is helping her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
Nope.
Lord help. I mean, like when you see this on a regular basis with people, you go, wow.
And it gets frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more wowed about it because of the ignorance, the lack of critical thinking, the lack of discernment, and it's not people's fault. They have health. There's some mental health challenges.
Yes,
and that's what I remind, like you, and we have to remind ourselves, Amy, that people won't see what you and I clearly see, and they will put it off because the world, like if everything was based on logic and evidence, we would have a socialist country because everybody would be in a full agreement with Medicare and Medicaid and insurance, and because we would look at logic, but that's not the way it works.
Right. So with that being said, Robert,
Yeah.
a little role playing like you had suggested earlier. So like I said, going along with what you had just said, so I'm going to pretend, so I'm that person that buys the product at Walmart. What's the difference between the two?
Well, part of the difference is the test. So I'll give you an example. Okay. So we looked at this. We talked about the test. Here's the product. We have polyphenols in the balance oil. That
That's
makes
where I was
all
going.
the difference, right? That makes all the difference. If you go like that lady, if she buys it at Walmart, and when we test her, the test is not going to be good.
Right. There's no
It's not.
polyphenols. Right.
It doesn't have polyphenols, and we're going to find out. And so we've looked at, and this is a graph of 8 other products. I've now looked at 17 different products. None of them help you get to optimal levels. The only product that gets you to optimal levels is balance oil.
Because of the polyphenols.
Well, that's a big part of it.
Yep.
So you can take whatever product you want. Like that lady I told you about. In her mind, she believed she was doing everything right. But she won't do the test anymore because she knows it's going to fail.
She knows it's going to fail. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, I mean, if I was mean, I could say you can't help stupid. And like I said, she unfriended me because she doesn't want to look at the truth. She wants to stay blind. And some people are just that we can't help everybody, right?
Right. Even though we want to, we can't. But if
can't.
people would just realize that you're in my eyes, you're just throwing your money away. You're purchasing that product with no benefits.
Amen.
I would rather. Oh, excuse me. We are having a.
All right, somebody's trying to kidnap a kid somewhere.
No, we actually have a tornado warning right now.
Oh man.
Yes.
I mean, imagine
So
that we're having this conversation and your roof just is taking off.
That would not be good. So yeah, that's what it was, is a tornado warning, and it doesn't even look that bad here. But no, I lost my train of thought now.
Well, I know where you're going. I want to show a video. And I want to get your thoughts on it because it's a video that I share quite often. And do you remember the martial artist named Bruce Lee?
I've heard you talk about him.
Okay. Well, Bruce Lee is one of he's the most famous martial artist of all time. And he became an actor, and his last movie was called Enter the Dragon. And I'm going to show you a scene, and then we'll close it out, of one of my favorite scenes. I've shared it with my kids. I've shared it with clients. I've shared it with friends. I've even shared it in presentations because there's a principle that's taught in this clip. So can I share it with you?
Yes, I would love it.
Okay, you guys. So it's like a little over a minute long for those who are watching. And then I'm going to share with you why I love this clip. And then I want to get Amy's thoughts on it once I share my thoughts, and then to get Amy's thoughts based on what I share and what she sees. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Kick me. Kick me. What was that? An exhibition? We need emotional content. Try again. I said emotional content, not anger. Now try again. With me. That's it. How did it feel to you?
Let me think.
Don't think. Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Do you understand? Never take your eyes off your opponent, even when you bow. That's it.
Okay, so here's what I get from that and why I shared this video. If you focus on the finger, you will miss all the heavenly glory, because he was pointing at the moon. And what happens with health and in life is that we get our focus on the things that aren't the moon. And so we get distracted and we're not able to see what is right in front of us. And then life comes to an end. And there's not much you can do about it. So I share that because I want people to realize sometimes we're looking at something and we're missing what we really need to be seeing. And when it comes to omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, when it comes to reducing inflammation, longevity, omega-3 index, people are so focused on certain things, and unfortunately their doctors are not bringing it to their attention, that they will miss the real benefit of what you and I are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I wanted to show that video.
Yeah, I've seen that. You shared that with me before, and I really like that video too. And I get what you're saying. You got to stay focused. And I love the last part. Do not take your eyes off too. So staying focused, you're going to miss out.
Keep your eyes on the ball, baby. I mean, seriously, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Right. It is. Exactly.
So Amy and I, so if you know Amy and you want to get a test, if you know Amy and you're like, okay, I want to know more about this, her website's provided. Contact Amy, get the information. Don't be 99% of people who are not getting this. Be unique, be informed, and Amy can help you, right? If you know me, reach out to me. I can help you. We can both help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, like I said before too, just the results that I've seen amongst myself and my family it's just mind blowing. So if you want to improve your health and live a longer life, reach out to Robert or myself.
Yeah. At least get the damn test, people.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I
Get the
mean,
test,
it's mind blowing to me. In my future presentation, because I did work with Tommy Thomason, who who is your multi-governor. He said, Governor Tommy Thompson, he said that when he was the secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services, he said, he's quoted for saying this, that the kids born today, which includes your kids and my kids, will not live to the age of their parents or grandparents. And I don't know if you realize this, but your grandma, I'm not yet, but if my kids don't improve certain parts of their health, they will not live to the age. Like my mom did a lot of things wrong, Amy. She drank, she smoked, she was out in the world. but she's still living. She's got stents. Those people are living way longer than a lot of the people I grew up with. I see way more of my friends. Blood clots, heart attack, stroke, dead, not going to be around. And the generation before us, they're not even going to live as long.
It's so sad.
And one of the things is and this is what Dr. Simopoulos was saying, it's not just about omega-6. It's not just about getting more omega-3. It's about the balance. And if you have balance, the only way you're going to have that balance of omega-6 to 3 is if your health and nutrition habits and what you're doing is making that balance happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why when I said earlier, put $50 million in my account and I would still be doing this call with you right now.
I'm there with you.
So.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody, go to amyprime.com if you want to learn more. Thank you, Amy. I hope you have a great weekend.
Well, thank you. You too. I'm hoping that a tornado doesn't hit us. So, yeah.
Well, we don't want to have a tornado. So, I mean, and, you know, I would tell for those of you who weren't able to, you know, participate in this part, this is Dr. Simopoulos. She's the #1 endocrinologist. I played this short little clip of her earlier, but I'm going to go out with this clip, Amy, because I want people to hear her one more time. Maybe someone came in a little late and they're catching it, but what she's saying is so important. But before we say goodbye to everybody, is there anything else you want to bring up that we should share?
No, I think we've covered a lot, and I appreciate you spending time with me and really reaching out to people and trying to get people healthier and living longer.
Okay. And, you know, like, so this page, what we just covered, is on my Facebook page. So if you want to quickly make it available to your constituents, the people that know and love you, then you can always go to my page and share it so that it shows up on your Facebook page.
Right, right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, you guys. Amy and I are saying goodbye. Our contact information is below. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Robert. Have a good weekend.
All right, you guys. This is Dr. Simopoulos, the #1 endocrinologist in the world, the most cited person when it comes to the importance of omega-6 to 3, which Amy and I have been talking about. So anyone who is like in disagreement with Amy and I, that means they're in disagreement with this lady. And if you're in disagreement with this woman, who's the most published person in medical history when it comes to what we're talking about, then you got some mental health issues, and God bless you. All right. So here's Dr. Simopoulos. Talk to you later, Amy. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
What is very important is the composition of the fat, the essential fatty acids, omega-6 and omega-3. And it's really frightening to think that after all the research funded with taxpayers' money, today, the latest dietary guidelines for Americans do not mention the importance of the ratio of omega-6, omega-3, or the concept of a balance. It's not a matter that you have low amounts of omega-3s. It's the fact that a high amount of omega-6 and a low amount of omega-3, as it is in Western diets today, they influence the function of every cell membrane in the body. And the cell membranes consist of both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, and it is important that they are balanced.
Diet is a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food